Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Let's take another look here at Solana, see what's going on. Wow, what a market today. Interesting stuff. Bitcoin shows us some strength as soon as the market opens with a very aggressive high volume candle. And then we see three super strong high volume candles to follow with a test in the 53K range. So while we're expecting price of Bitcoin to pull back, I wasn't expecting this much this fast. And again, it's just kind of par for the course. It's really just a normal thing. What's great though, and abnormal in a good way, is Solana's hold of this level, and more importantly, just not dumping when all the other majority of other altcoins are dumping. Truth is, altcoins are holding off pretty well. Bitcoin dominance is pulling back, showing money is coming away from Bitcoin going into altcoins. And we can see that here reflected with a lot of other coins that are still holding their value. Okay, so again, this is a good sign. This kind of implies that, pending Bitcoin doesn't really make a run towards the 40K range, or the upper 40s, we should be in good shape to see a lot of altcoins kind of maybe consider increasing this weekend, or more importantly, just hitting their tentative bottom, right? So that's a good sign. These are all positive things we want to kind of look at when analyzing the charts. Okay, so again, you don't get blindly stuck on one thing and just kind of get too stuck on it, but you do want to kind of recognize a few key factors. Let's go ahead and take a look at Solana back-end data here. First of all, with liquidation levels, I was sharing this with my community a moment ago, talking a little bit about the 136 to 138 range being a pretty significant amount of liquidation on the shorter time frames. And obviously, we're starting to see more longs here entering right around 126. So keep in mind that is putting a target on your back by taking a long right now. But on the same accord, it's viable. I mean, it makes sense as to why. We did see a little liquidity sweep here, basically maybe about $1 billion swept at 127, and the price held that level pretty strong. We zoom out and in, essentially looking at the full 1 month here. We can see there's roughly about $2 to $2.5 billion at the 136 range, and a low measly 800 million. Well, actually maybe 1.5 billion if you add the two together at about 126. So just know we're in a really janky market right now. Wouldn't be surprised if we see any more shenanigans. Bitcoin could very well continue to bleed out. It does look like it wants to push even further down. So just be mindful of that. Having said that, and now that we've prefaced correctly, let's go ahead and take a look at the larger timeframes here. Keep in mind, I've got my liquidity and fair value gap indicators enabled here. So if you see these aggressive red areas, that implies there is still previous value that has still yet to be taken care of, right? Doesn't mean we're just going to see a run to 110 because of it. It just implies we lose that level at 120. I think it would make sense for that next level to be hit. Okay, that's generally the concept. So anyways, take a look here at the SMAs. We can recognize they're all above the price action. Nothing's changed there. We can also recognize too, we're bottoming out on TSI. There's a trend strength index. It's one of my new favorite indicators you might see on my charts here, essentially just giving us indication that we're getting close to the bottom, but you don't always bounce at this level. It's not like a bouncing type of situation, just telling us this trend is starting to bottom out and there could be a reversal soon. We can also recognize too, with stochastic swinging up, money flow index and RSI kind of getting lower, there is also potential for the price to honestly continue lower first. You got to recognize that. We can't rule that out, but also potential for a bounce here as well. I know it seems kind of crazy. It's like, wait a minute. I watch your videos so I can get answers, not more questions. And I get that. That's how crypto is though, folks. Like a lot of times you get these false positives. And right now, when you get that kind of conflicting information on the daily, maybe it's best to wait. I don't know. Wow, that's such a novel idea, right? Being patient in a crypto market? Weird. Okay, anyways, those are just kind of some abstract thoughts. I apologize. No sarcasm intended. But absolutely, it's there. Anyways, so TSI coming back down as per usual. We can see here as well with our MACD, we are now diverging. So generally speaking, when you're under this level here, under zero effectively on our TSI, and you see the MACD diverging, those are generally signs you want to avoid trading into it. Okay. Now again, high volume tells us a lot. When we have a lot of volume selling pressure, it implies the price could continue lower. But you got to recognize that's mostly just that natural knee jerk reaction to this high volume candle too. But you keep in mind, Solana's been holding this level pretty strong, and this 127 is proven to be a monstrous support for us. Like we minus one candle wick down, which we could still see today, we're holding very strong at 127. So my personal opinion, we hold 127 today. We should be in, what is it? Bob's your uncle? Just take it along and continue from there. It seems very likely we're going to get that bounce. Again, generally speaking, when you're under 50 on the RSI and you got the money flow pulling back, stochastic pulling back, the odds are against you. The price is going to recover. However, the odds are also in our favor. It's going to recover based on how well it's held And depending on how Bitcoin performs, that's kind of where we're at, right? So keep in mind, Bitcoin is struggling at 54K. That's the daily candlestick close bottom, by the way, just to kind of throw it out there so you understand. It's important to recognize this. We haven't closed below 54,000 on the daily yet for Bitcoin, okay? If we do, I think that spells continuation to move down to this 49K range to sweep that lower liquidation level, which, by the way, is very aggressive. If you haven't seen this already, there is a lot of liquidation between 53,000, 54K. A bit of a gap and down as low as 50, but also some down around 49K, right? So just know that that exists, and it's a very real possibility. Back to Solana on the hourly. Let's recognize this here as well. The hourly time frame is looking, drum roll please, pretty poor. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know this, right? The last 3 hours have been abysmal. Okay, so we've dropped from 134 to 127 roughly. That's about a 5.5% difference in 3 hours. Is the bottom end? Well, honestly, it really just depends on this guy here. Is it going to want to continue to run, or are we going to hold our tentative support level? That's really the question. But the truth here is if Solana does lose this level of 127, I think 122 and or 110 is a probable next step. I do think we have to lose 122 first. That's a key level support for Solana. In order to hit that 110, I think that's a possibility. But I think it's less likely at this point based on how well we're holding, pending Bitcoin doesn't continue to run. If we see a low 50,000 mark, just say we run towards 53, 52, 51 for Bitcoin today, you bet your butt we're going to lose our tentative bottom here at 127, and 122 will be almost an instant hit, right? And not the good kind of hit too, not a Taylor Swift, but an actual hit where it's just going to blast straight through that if Bitcoin runs. But it's holding strong right now for now. Just got to recognize that that changes, different story altogether. Okay, so that's really all we got here. Not too much else to really note. I mean, we take a look at our TPO on the hourly. We can see our local point of control here for the last 24 hours is 130. So the bears are still in control here, no matter how you look at it. Closing above 130 would be extremely advantageous to show that the bulls are holding Solana strong. So I'm going to be looking for a closure above 130 today on Solana. That'll give me some confidence in taking a long or holding our long open. Coincidentally, we are just barely in the red on our long position we took a few days ago with Solana. And I'm, again, been monitoring it, watching it, making sure, but Solana's still pretty strong. So I don't think it's a cause for concern. I don't think you should dump all your coins. I really think that we're in good shape here. Again, we don't know Bitcoin, what it's going to do, but if Bitcoin can hold this 54K range, I think Solana's going to rally back this weekend. Okay. All right, folks. Thanks again so much for watching. Make sure you you read through some of my specific indicators here. My signals guide for any new members here. You got to recognize when the market dumps, my Premium Plus bot, it gets a little confused. So you want to just avoid the market for a little while. Don't take those trades. And then, of course, make sure you reference our trade alerts here. This is kind of giving you a heads up on what should and could happen next with coins. All right, it's all available for you. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.